At Miller's Community Center, the majority of people had never even heard her speak above a whisper. Marie Delaney, mid-50s, soft-spoken, cardigan-clad, volunteered twice a week serving soup to the homeless, always with a gentle smile and warm eyes that said more than words ever could. No one could have guessed that on a rainy Tuesday afternoon she would knock a man twice her size flat on his back, with just one hit. But what happened that day wasn't really about the punch. It was about everything that came before it. Marie lived a quiet life in a small apartment above an old bookstore. Widowed young, she never remarried. Her joy came from small, consistent acts of kindness. Reading to kids at the library, planting sunflowers in the park, and bringing extra sandwiches to the shelter, just in case someone new came through the door hungry. To most people, she was just Miss Marie, the kind-hearted lady who kept to herself and gave more than she ever asked for. However, Marie believed that kindness was a strength and not a weakness. And one day, the world would see just how strong kindness could be. It started like any other Tuesday. The shelter kitchen bustled with familiar faces. Marie had just finished serving chili when she heard raised voices near the front entrance. A man, massive, angry, loud, stormed in. No one recognized him. He was soaked from the rain, eyes wild, fists clenched. He grabbed a bag of bread off the counter and demanded more, pushing one of the teenager volunteers aside. No one moved, no one dared. Marie moved calmly forward. She said softly, "Sir, you're welcome to a hot meal. You don't need all that." He snarled, "I don't need a lecture from some grandma." He shoved her, hard. She staggered, but she did not fall. Then something in her face changed. It wasn't anger. It was something deeper, stillness, resolve. She stepped forward again and looked him in the eye, the way a mother might look at a child who's lost his way. Enough. And then it happened. Without raising her voice, without winding up, just one clean, swift motion, Marie drove her palm into the center of his chest, just below the collarbone. Not a punch, a precise and unexpected strike. The man let out a gasp, stumbled backward, and fell like a stone. Out, cold. Silence. People rushed in. Someone called 911, but Marie just calmly sat on a stool, picked up her apron, and waited. For the police. The officers arrived, surprised to find the threat already neutralized, and even more surprised when witnesses pointed to the petite woman in the floral scarf. Turned out, Marie Delaney wasn't just a soup-serving volunteer. Before her quiet life in the bookstore flat, she'd been one of the first female martial arts instructors in her city, a black belt with years of self-defense training. She'd never bragged, never boasted, because none of that mattered to her as much as treating people with care and dignity. But that wasn't even the real twist. Later, once the man was handcuffed and taken to the hospital with no serious injuries, just bruised pride, Marie asked to speak with him. Everyone thought she was crazy, but she sat beside his bed, alone, and said gently, "You were hungry. That's what started this, wasn't it?" His eyes filled with tears. He had, it turned out, just lost his job, hadn't eaten in 2 days, felt ashamed. And when he stormed into the center, he didn't expect kindness, because that was all he had ever known. He expected fear. She listened, didn't excuse what he'd done, but offered him a path forward. "I'll assist you in acquiring a proper meal and speak with someone, but only if you walk the right way from here. Do you comprehend me?" He gave a nod. A week later, the man, name was Roy, was back at the center. Not as a danger, as a volunteer. People were cautious at first. However, Marie stood by him. "People can change," she said, "especially when they think they can." And they did. Roy ended up helping fix the shelter's broken heater, getting others connected with trade jobs, and eventually earning enough to rent his own small place. But he never stopped coming back. Marie never struck another soul. She didn't need to, because the story of Miss Marie who dropped the giant became a kind of legend in the neighborhood, not for the punch, but for what came after it. People started seeing quiet strength differently. They looked twice at the soft-spoken. They remembered that power doesn't always come with volume or fists. It often comes with patience, presence, and the willingness to stand up for what's right. Therefore, yes, a straightforward woman struck and killed a man twice her size. The real knockout, though, came when she struck him with compassion, with a force that was greater than anything she had ever done with her hands. And that's the kind of strength the world needs more of.